welcome back. We're here interviewing another band,
Jetsam.
And today we're going to ask them some questions to learn more about their band and also them as individual members. How do you start this band?
The band started, I guess, 3 years ago with my partner Neon, who is our bassist, who's not here right now. Her and I were taking drum lessons from a friend, and when we would drive to drum lessons, we would listen to, music that was the style that we would want to drum in. And I showed her this band called Cloud Rat, that are a power violence band, and she was like, "Oh, we should start a band like this." And then just by pure coincidence, later that evening, a friend of hers offered her a drum kit. So we went to pick it up, and as we were loading the drum kit into the car, we were talking to that person whose name is Wawa. And we were like, "We want to start a band like Cloud Rat." And he was like, "Oh my god, that's so sick. What are you doing in an hour? I get off work and we could have a band practice."
Oh my god.
So an hour later, we all went to a jam space and started practicing, and by the end of that practice, we'd written our first song.
Whoa.
And then a couple days later, we met again, and by the end of that, we'd written our second song. And kind of fast forward a month and a half later, we played our first show.
Wow.
Which was 3 years ago last weekend. And then Wawa had to leave the band, and we kind of had a couple sort of fill-in drummers after that. And then eventually we found Evelyn, and we were like, this is it. This is the one.
Wait, that's really awesome. Very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that said, how do you guys choose the name?
We wrote those first two songs, and then the third song that we wrote, the lyrics are a poem that I had written years and years and years before that, that had a line in it that was so much flotsam and jetsam. And so we were casting around trying to figure out a name, and Neon was like, "How about we just use that word?" So we were like, well, a band called that doesn't exist, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah, it's very unique. I really like it. Oh, that's a really cool backstory too. Okay, wait, so I'm sorry to say, I don't really know what power violence is. Can you explain that a little bit and how you guys got into that?
The way that I imagine it is if you have kind of a horseshoe where one half of it is metal and one half of it is punk. Up here where they're kind of almost kissing. On the metal side you have grindcore.
Yeah.
And on the punk side you have power violence.
Okay. If you could describe your band in 3 words, what would they be?
Heavy, loud, queer?
Yeah, I like that. Heavy, loud, queer. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Evelyn Charlotte Jo Fraser Coyne, and I'm the drummer in Jetsam.
Okay, so how do you get into drumming?
How did I get into it? Mostly through my songwriting practice.
Okay.
I'm 36 now. I started writing songs when I was 12.
Oh wow.
And I don't know, I had this kind of loner era where I bought a 4-track cassette recorder and started writing songs, and they needed drums, and my next door neighbor had a drum set in his garage.
Nice.
And he would let me use it if I mowed the lawn or so. Yeah, and that's how I started. So I started to kind of have drum parts on the songs that I was writing. Yeah.
That's so cool. Talk about your album. How do you get into this?
So I picked Ode to Pete by Tugnut. Which is amazing that it's here because I grew up in a little place called Cambridge, Ontario.
Nice.
And these were my mentors when I was growing up playing music. There was kind of a Alexis on Fire-y kind of My Chemical Romance type of scene going on there, and it really, God bless it, it just really wasn't my thing.
Fair. And
this band kind of popped out of nowhere and started making what I consider now to be pretty world-class, unique music. It's metal,
Nice.
but it is kind of punk too. It's very experimental. There's lots of time change stuff. And the vocals are very strange. The lyrics are very strange. So it's kind of very abstract. And seeing that as a young person, being oh, music can be like this too. And watching the drummer Steve Vargas drum, that's how I learned how to play drums. Is I would go to the shows and stare at him, and then try and practice. It was good to have some role models that were they would let me come over at their house where they were practicing. So yeah, I picked this album, Ode to Pete. I think some of it is on YouTube.
Okay.
Or yeah, I guess you could call into the radio station and request it if you wanted to.
Do you have a favorite song off this album?
Yeah, I would say Kane for Council, which is track 2.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you.
All right, please introduce yourself. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Jack.
And what do you do in the band?
I'm the vocalist in the band.
Gotcha. All right, how do you get into that? How do you doing vocals and stuff?
Like, I always really wanted to be the vocalist in a band.
Nice, yeah.
I grew up singing. Like, my first kind of like favorite band was Evanescence. I just worshipped Amy Lee. But then I started listening to metal when I was in like junior high school, and wanting to scream in a band, but like I couldn't figure out how. I had such a block around like sounding bad and like making really loud noises. So it really was like only a few years ago where, after like many failed attempts, finally I asked my best friend who screamed in a band. I was like, how did you figure this out? And they were like, honestly, when I had a car, I would just drive around in my car at night and listen to Alexis on Fire. So then a couple days later, I was driving to Toronto, and I was like, okay, I'm alone in a car for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I put on Alexis on Fire, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know this. So I was like, what's my Alexis on Fire?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's Linkin Park. So I put Hybrid Theory on, and then by like the third song, I just had it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So then I came home, and I was like, I need to start a band. Let's do this.
Okay, so talk to me about your album. What did you choose?
Okay, so I chose Cheap Wig.
Okay.
The album is called Magic Idea. This came out in 2015.
Okay.
They were like a legendary Montreal like punk band. And the vocalist Ethel is like, she's just like this incredibly beautiful, incredibly charismatic person who can like do any kind of vocals. I think one of the first times that I actually saw her do vocals was for a Halloween cover show, and her band was covering the Distillers.
Nice.
So she was like dressed as Brody Doll.
Oh, hell, that's
and
so cool.
did a like flaw. Like I was like, who is this person? It was not that long after I moved to Montreal, and then I was just like, she's amazing. I want to know her. I want to be her friend.
Yeah.
She would have these like wild like outfits on stage,
So, yeah, that's awesome.
and it was such a like they were like a queer punk band, and they were so irreverent, and she was so charismatic, and everybody in the band was just like so cool.
Yeah.
And I went to that show, and I was just like, who are these people? Like, wow. She was just such a like a stage presence.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually a fairly like shy, introverted person.
Yeah.
So when it was like, oh, I'm now the vocalist of a band and I'm gonna be on stage in front of people, I was like, oh, I have to make a person that I can be that can do that. And so like she was definitely part of that.
That's so awesome, yeah. You guys have another member of your band.
Yeah, so Neon, the bassist of our band, who's also my partner, couldn't be here for this, but she chose Bateman Begins by the Bicasa.
No.
So they were like a Montreal kind of like party punk band that did really fun songs, and like a lot of the songs on this are inspired by like Mortal Kombat or Ninja Turtles or Street Fighter
that's
or whatever.
so cool.
And they're so fun, and like Neon and like other friends that I have like quote this band
Okay, yeah.
pretty much daily.
That's awesome.
Every sort of Montreal punk that I know like has been to Bicasa shows and like loves them.
Yeah.
And I like pick up on so many people referencing them.
Right, yeah.
They did a show where they played all of like the Ninja Turtles songs,
Okay.
and there was somebody playing, I'm gonna out myself as somebody that doesn't know that much about Ninja Turtles, but somebody was playing the bad guy.
Okay.
And then that turns out to be BK Brooks, who was the frontman of the power violence band Max Power,
Okay.
who we played our first show with.
Whoa.
And they were like a legendary band to me.
Yeah.
So we played our first show with them, and then after the show he came up and was like, hey, good set. And we were just like, oh my god, if BK thinks we're good, like we've made it.
Yeah.
And that was a huge reason for us to keep going as a band. And he passed away. BK passed away last year. But we've like remained really close with like the other members of that band. And
That's so awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, big
So,
inspirations.
yeah.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see your albums and let's see if they are heavy, loud, and queer.
Do you want to go first?
I picked out the first Distillers record,
Okay.
self-titled. I feel like when I was getting into punk rock when I was a teenager, this was one of those bands that just like really stuck with me into my adulthood. I really love like Brody Daly, the songwriter, like the lyrics, the chord progressions, the parts, all of it was great. I feel like when we started playing it, like some of the vocabulary I learned from listening to this fit into what we were doing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is there any song in specific that you guys really associate with your band?
I think my favorite on that one is Open Sky.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Idolist, which is track 2.
Okay, yeah.
And then I picked It Takes Time, the It Takes Time EP by Intensive Care. Intensive Care is a power violence band from Toronto. They're friends of ours, but like long before they were friends of ours, they were just a band that was making like really political, really heavy music that I was super into. And we had the opportunity to play with them a few years ago. Shout out to the Canadian power violence scene.
Do you guys have any other friends or bands that you've taken inspiration from?
A big one for us is this band from Calgary that were initially called Brain Fever and then were called La Luna.
Okay.
And they were like a scrams band from Calgary. Like really like aggressive, loud, like weird time signatures, really like technical drumming. And Ev and I bonded like kind of as soon as we met about both having loved that band.
Nice, that's so awesome. From these 2 albums, is there any songs that you guys like to listen to before playing?
I feel like actually when we're like driving between shows and stuff like that, like going on tour, honestly mostly what we're listening to in the car is System of a Down.
Okay.
Or it's the Bulgarian television radio choir.
Hell yeah.
We
That's
listened
awesome.
to so much of that.
Do you have any Montreal bands you guys have played with and love playing with or just want to play with? Or
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
We have so many like Montreal band
there's
besties.
a lot of good shit going on
There
here.
is,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
Montreal's a great music scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another power violence band in Montreal called Verify that we love a lot. Object of Loathing are like a punk band that we love. There's like Lobotomite
I'm
and
really into Typeface.
Typeface.
Oh, okay.
The new Typeface tape.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any fun projects coming up?
We're trying to really like chill out and not play a
Fair.
lot of shows because we've been a band for 3 years and we've averaged a show every 10 days.
Okay, wow, yeah. Intense.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to take the autumn and the winter off
Nice.
and like write a whole bunch of
Hell
music.
yeah. Hopefully next spring something will be coming out.
Yeah.
We'll keep a look at.
That's the aim.
Okay, well thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks.